Hello, welcome to sprouting season. Today we're going to be making beef and cabbage and beef sausage. We are in my mom's kitchen today. We moved out of our house finally, so you know, it took me a little while to find everything that I needed, but we're going to go ahead and start. If you like the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. And we're going to go ahead and show you what we have here. Okay, so we have here some onion that I've already semi-cut up, and some garlic cloves, and those are pretty big cloves, as you can see. We have some Better Than Boullion. It is the roast beef bouillon base. And also diced tomato can. And here are the seasonings. Now, I usually use the balls, Cajun seasoning, but since, you know, all our spices are stored away, I'm using what my mother has here in her kitchen. I'm using Tony Chachere's or Chachere's Cajun seasoning today. Some Uncle Chris's gourmet steak seasoning. Now you can use salt and pepper, garlic. Those are your basics. You can use that. I also have some brown rice. Now I'm not going to be adding rice to it today. I usually add like white rice, but I can't have rice on the diet that I'm on, so I'm going to make that separately for those that want it. But you can add whatever you'd like. Also here we have a full head of cabbage and some Eckrich beef sausage and some ground beef. And you only need a pound. This is more than a pound. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up the cabbage and prepare it. And then we'll start making our beef in the. And now what I used is, I'll show you. I'm using this. I usually use a Dutch oven, but this is what my mother has handy, so that's what we're using today. Okay, so we're just gonna cut this up. Doesn't have to be perfect, and we're gonna rinse our cabbage. And I apologize in advance if we have any distractions. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut up this beef sausage. And you can use whatever sausage you like, but we like the Eckrich sausage. Okay. And if you want to use, you know, one link, it's fine. Or 2 links. This comes in a package of 2, so I just use this. Okay, so we got our sausage in the pan, and now we're going to add our ground beef. Okay, so I added more or less a pound of ground beef, and we're going to add our seasonings. And also, I cut up that onion, so we're going to add that in here as well. Okay, so I'm going to add and I apologize, but I don't really have any help recording, so I'm doing it all today. Now we're going to add our onion. Okay, and this is about, you know, maybe not even a whole half of an onion, but you can add more if you'd like. I just put enough in there for flavor because we're going to add our tomato base, and it's going to have onion and garlic in that also. Okay, so while that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and make our tomato base. Okay, so we're gonna put in our tomato can. And these garlics, again, they're pretty big. See that? So I'm just gonna dump one in there. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and add both. And go ahead and blend it up. Okay, so this is still cooking. Not quite done yet. And then we're going to go ahead and strain all the grease out of it. Unless you like the grease in there. It's up to you. And then we'll go ahead and add our tomato base mixture. Okay, so the meat is fully cooked, and now we're going to go ahead and add our tomato mixture with the garlic. And we're going to go ahead and let it cook for, I don't know, maybe about a minute or so. Just stir it in there. And then once this is cooked some, then we're also going to add our our beef bouillon. Okay, so the meat with the tomato mixture is ready. So now I'm going to go ahead and add about a cup of water. Okay, about half to a cup. Now if you're going to add rice, I would say definitely a cup. And then we're going to add our our beef bouillon. And I believe I add about 2 spoonfuls, like tablespoon, and it looks like a base. See? I don't recall if this is the same one that I used, but that's what we're using today. Okay, so I added the beef bouillon in there. I'm going to stir it in. And this is going to give it some really good flavor. Okay, now just taste it and make sure that is to your liking. If you want to add more bouillon, then by all means do so at this time. And then we're going to add our cabbage, which has been already rinsed. Alright, so we're just going to add a little bit at a time. And then stir it in there. That's why I like using a Dutch oven, or you can use a larger pot, like a deep pot. This is what my mom had, so this is what we're using. Alright, so I added the whole head of cabbage, and we're going to go ahead and cover it, okay, and simmer. Okay, we're on low, and we're going to wait till that cabbage softens up. And I forgot to add that when you added the water to add your rice, and usually I would add about half a cup of white rice in there, or you can just make it on the side, which is what I'm going to do. You can put in as much as you want. So I forgot, y'all, when I made the tomato mixture, to add more onion. So it's the tomato mixture and then the rest of the onion that we didn't use and the garlic. And all I added was the garlic to the tomato. So that's what we have to do. That's up to you, but you know, it gives it a more bold flavor with the onion. So just wanted to point that out. Okay, so the cabbage still needs a little bit of time, but this is what it looks like so far. It's softened up a little bit. And I did add a little bit more onion since I forgot to add it to the tomato mixture. Plus there was onion in the meat when we cooked it. So we will wait a little bit longer till this is softened up. And I've also got some rice, some brown rice there cooking. Alright everyone, so this is done. It's already softened, as you can see, the cabbage. So you just gotta, you know, taste it and see if that's to your liking. If you want to add a little bit more bouillon, but now you can add your rice in there. And our rice is still cooking, but I'm not gonna put mine in the stewed cabbage because you know, I can't really eat that rice. So you're more than welcome to add it in here, or you know, eat it just the way it is. And it's really good. I've made this many times already, and you know, we love it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and come back and join us again when I put out another video. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Bye.